Many entrepreneurs think the only way to drive traffic to their website is by doing ads. But actually they are wrong. There are at least 7 different sources of traffic, and by combining them you can build a stable and sustainable demand on your website and have a consequent source of lead. In this video I'll show you these exact 7 sources with example and how you should use them with your business. How to attract traffic to your website? The only thing you must ask is this, and the only thing is by capturing the attention of your potential client. How do you do that? Let's take an example of your website. Here it's an e-commerce, but it works for every potential website, whether it's in B2B, in B2C, in e-commerce. You have 7 different sources of traffic. The green ones, for example, they are based on organic. So there is what we call SEO. I'll go back to this a bit later. There is also organic social. So it's posting on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok, on YouTube, on X, all the potential social network that you have there. Then what you have is paid social. Paid ads, it's SEA, also called pay-per-click. It's you pay to get visibility, whether it's directly on Google or on social media. It works a bit the same in terms of the back end. It might differ a lot, but I would say it's still paying to get more visibility. Then you have what we call referral. Referral, it's pretty simple. It's traffic is when, I would say, another website sends you a visitor. Let's take the example of I'm looking for an Italian restaurant in Dubai with this research. I have different choice coming up. There is a map, and here there is TripAdvisor, the top 10 best Italian restaurant in Dubai. Here, if TripAdvisor cites me as, I would say, an Italian restaurant, then they can redirect to my website directly. If there is some special events, some business lunch, the menu in order to book and stuff like this. Obviously TripAdvisor have their own also way and system of booking like Zomato, but in other cases for a B2B business, be featured on, for example, Forbes. Then another source of traffic is what we call direct. Direct, it's when, for example, you're looking for a running shoe, you go to Nike.com. You type directly in the search bar Nike.com. And finally, cross network. Cross networks, I would say it includes things like emails campaign, affiliate links. You have an e-commerce, you do a newsletter in order to inform your clients that you have new offers and stuff like this. It will be featured in the section cross network. These are the 7 types of source that you can get on your website. When you look at, for example, Google Analytics and you have all your data, it will be classified based on that. If we want to dive a little deeper on the search, I've explained you what is a referral. For example, here, I'm looking for an Italian restaurant. I have what we call the sponsored link. Sponsored link, it's SEA, pay-per-click. This means when I click on that, Jumeirah.com will pay per the click that they are receiving on their traffic. It's good because you have instant visibility, you can test it, but it is, I would say, a bit complicated because once you stop the budget, then you have no visibility. Whereas in terms of SEO, your rank, for example, Casamia, which is the first restaurant, appears here. These are platforms. Here it means because they have a good content, they are referenced on other websites and they are seen as the reference. They have good reviews, and all of this matters in order to Google to push you in the queries and the searches that you're looking for. By the way, if you want to know, I would say, what are the keywords that your clients are looking for in your niche for when they're looking for your service, just comment, I would say, your industry in the comment section, and I will give you exactly this plus even what your competitors are doing. And if you want to even go further, we can have a one-to-one consulting session so I can explain you a bit how you can drive all this source of traffic to your website. Then there was another one, I would say direct, I have already explained, and SEO. When we look at now the social media, it's exactly the same principle. There is, you are on your feed. For example, here there is a master class and it's sponsored. You pay for the visibility. And then you have what we call the cost per lead, the cost per acquisition and stuff like this. And here it's organic content. It depends, I would say, on the algorithm. It depends also on the platform, whether you're on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on X. There's a lot of different things to take into consideration. But now you may ask, how does this all fit together? There is different strategy, because I wouldn't recommend you to go on all of the platform. There is some different stage that I suggest. There is a short-term strategy, which is based on paid advertising. Because when you pay to get visibility, you get, I would say, fast result. You can test and see if it's positive or negative. But then when you stop the budget, or you have a high competition and the other are having bigger budgets, it's gonna be hard to compete. And it's also harder, can be a bit harder to scale and to reduce, I would say, your cost per acquisition. And this is why other channels are very important. For example, as I told you, referral, why it's in red like cross network and direct, because compared to the paid sources and the organic one that you have here, it's, I would say, a mix of both. Referral, you can pay on Forbes to have an article, but there is also some other platforms that, I don't know, reference what are the best hotels in Dubai and stuff like this, that you can get featured in for free because they've heard of you, because of the reviews you're getting and all of that. And even sometimes you can do some exchange between websites. And I mean, it's quite common in the industry. In terms of cross network, building, for example, a newsletter, it's short term and I would say mid-term, because in order to have a real impact on the sales, on the business, you need to have a big community, or at least an engaged community. So it takes, I would say, not that much time compared to building content on social media and getting an authority like SEO as well, but you can have, that's why I've put it in between short term and mid term. Regarding organic social and organic search, I've put it here and not completely on the long term, because if you're in an industry that doesn't have a lot of competition, that is very niche, you can have some great result in terms of research. It's going to be less volume, but it's going to be more qualified leads. And this, you can even put them in the short term, even for the content on Instagram. But usually what we see from the statistic, from the overall market, it takes quite some time. So that's why I've put it in the midterm and long-term strategy. When you're starting your business, I wouldn't recommend to only focus on that. You can build on that because it takes some time, but you need to focus on getting clients now, getting feedback, returns straight away. Then you have the direct, and the direct, why did I put it here? It's because once your brand is famous, once you got the client, the feedback, you iterated, and you know that your service, your product is good, people are directly looking for you. And that's what you want to look, be the reference in your industry. But here's the key. I would say in a perfect world, being on every channel gives you more chance and reduces the risk, obviously. But in reality, every business has its strengths, its weaknesses, and sometimes it's smarter to double down on one channel if it works, that brings qualified leads, instead of wasting energy when it doesn't convert. That's very important to take into consideration here. And you must think of also, where are your customers actually? Are they on social media? Are they on YouTube? Are they on in physical? Here I talked about a physical event and networking, but sometimes it's like this. So now I wanted to talk about more the animal, which is very simple. We call it VPT. Value, provide value to attract on plenty of platforms. You build trust in order to convert your clients, because you're giving them valuable, you have clients, you have reviews, and then you are present because you're being visible where your customers are. And now we even talk about being omnipresent on all the channel, but it doesn't need to be the case for everyone. That's how I would say you can become the reference in your market. Building traffic is not about only one magical channel. It's about, I would say, as you can see here, balance, trust, and being visible where it matters, as I told you. That's what makes your business stable, predictable, and the obvious choice. If you'd like to go further and work on your own strategy, you can book a call with me, one-to-one consulting call, and I'll analyze your competitors, your keywords, and show you what's best for your business. That's it for today, and see you soon.